Hello, viewers. This is Bhavana, Bhatia, and welcome you all to 19 Influencers Talk on the COVID-19 series in association with TechXP. Today, we have with us an avid keynote speaker, someone whose career is built being a consumer goods professional, gourmet F&B and F&B specialist, retailer, hotelier, wine connoisseur, enriched with 24 plus years of cross-functional experience. Viewers, we have none other than the CEO, Essar Retail Food Business IF, Saikat Sarkar. So firstly, Saikat, a very, very warm welcome and thank you for joining in today.
Thank you so much and thank you for having me here.
Pleasure. So Saikat, for our first question, the viewers would like to know is where do you see yourself and the industry of consumer goods 3 to 12 months down the line?
So Bhavna, I think it's a good question in the sense that as in past few weeks also I have attended a couple of webinars, and everywhere I think I have been facing the same question over and over again. And I think that's a common question what is coming on everyone's mind, that what is there in store for us for next 3 months to 12 months.
Sure.
The answers are also kind of evolving with the questions remaining the same, because everybody is trying to cope up with the scenario and trying to understand that what is there in store. I think there is a lot of data which is also coming, from whatever information we are collating in both our professional life and personal life, and a lot of answers have still come in. So if I kind of summarize all of this, I think every one of us have become much more resilient. We have been pondering over a particular issue much more that we have been doing for past so many years. We have been conducting ourselves in a particular manner in both personal and professional life. We have changed that. I think on monetary terms we have become much more kind of prudent, I must say. And then I come to more specific issues as such. I think industry is going through a turmoil. There are industry specific views as well. So if I talk about our industry as a whole, so I come from a food background and currently dealing with food as well. So as far as food industry is concerned, I think the future is bright, definitely bright. There are a lot of changes what industry will go through. I think in between there has been a situation what was coming in that people were shifting from packed food to fresh food. So now what is going to happen that fresh food remaining as strong as ever, I think packed food once again is making a comeback. People are thinking more on the hygienic part. On that point of view, I think they have a renewed faith on the established food companies and the way they're maintaining their hygiene standards and the way they're bringing up new products. New innovations are coming into the forefront. I think overall food industry there has been quite a bit of a churn, and people a lot of putting their thoughts and innovation into it, getting new products, new way of packaging things, contactless kind of deliveries which are coming into the forefront. I think to keep all of these things into mind, I think for food industry, for fresh and packed both, going forward next 3 months at least is going to be very, very exciting. Only one part which needs to be looked into very closely is the supply chain. Now, supply chain has also evolved, the past 15 days, what the country has experienced. I think the balance 15 days has seen a much better way of managing things. I think even the government and the other authorities got overwhelmed with the situation around. But I think those things are coming into place. I think the entire forum of even at the secretarial level or at the company level or any other authorities, they're coming together, putting their thoughts together, and they're coming to a situation that the supply chain, that is not get broken in between, and people get their essentials at any point of time. So that is about, say, in next 3 months time. And if I pick up the point what you were asking for the next 12 months, how we are looking at it, I think this situation is not going to get anything easier than what it is now. That's what my feeling is. There will be a lot of restrictions, be it in the factories, be it in road, be it in truckers, be it in the consumption, home, movie theaters, then restaurants. Everywhere there will be a scenario where you cannot gather at one point of time. You cannot spend time together. There will be phases. People have to come, shop, spend time in a staggered manner. I think that will once again put a lot of stress on the industry, put together, whichever is, kind of there as a part of this ecosystem. I think somewhere we are building ourselves to, much more stronger way to play a major part there, where how to maximize our business, during a short span of time. And that is something I think every industry is, kind of trying to find out, how to crack that. So be it a food industry like us or travel and entertainment industry, they are also, trying to put a lot of thought into this. And I think in next 1-2 months time, we'll be seeing more work on this, where people will be finding out a, kind of a solution or a business model where it will be a larger business in a short span of time. I think a lot of work is happening on that, Bhavna.
Sure. So, for the second question, the viewers would like to know that there's so much uncertainty in the market, in the market currently, and a clarity always helps. So, what do you feel is if the current scenario continues for the next couple of years or even beyond, like you rightly said, what measures or steps can be taken for the same?
Yeah, so Bhavna, I think a lot of coherent activities are required in terms of government, the corporate bodies, all the local bodies, other authorities to come together. Firstly, to take care of the people who are there down the strata. How to ensure food for them in a sustainable manner. For next 2 years, there should be a constructive kind of a plan to make sure that they get their food. The direct transfer of money to their bank account is something what the government must look into. And I think all the bodies what I just mentioned, they must join hands and find out some plans that how to make it in a staggered manner for next 2 years. Because until and unless you have a particular kind of treatment for this COVID-19, that maybe through a medicine or through a manner in which it needs to be taken care of, until and unless there has to be a solution coming from different research work which is already happening across the world. Until and unless we have a solution for that, we have to make it sustainable for all the segments. And then there can be subgroups what can be made for each industry specific, starting from which are those industries which are needed to be taken in priorities. As I have said, that food industry is certainly there in a good space. So we need to maintain the food security of people and the food companies, so that people can eat food. I think that's the most important thing. And then the rest of the things which are there, like the entertainment and other things which people must get into at some point of time. How to spruce up that business? A lot of people are there in hospitality and travel industry. How to kind of bring them all together, make committees through them. How to slowly, releasing some of the restrictions, getting restricted tourists either from domestic population or from abroad, from the countries probably which are not exposed to COVID-19 to such an extent. I think things will change a lot in next 2 years time, and we need to open all the spaces in a phased manner. But largely I see that in 2 years time there has to be a restricted life for all of us.
Absolutely. So, Saikat, for the third question, we would like to know that they say that necessity is the mother of all invention. And the ongoing pandemic has brought a lot of necessary changes across industries. So, what changes do you feel that one would have to permanently bring in to transform the current social order?
Bhavna, I think we are somewhere into it. I mean, we can't escape from the scenario we are already in. I think we can think of a COVID kit wherever we go to a movie hall or to a restaurant. Kind of protection gear, protection kit, which can be offered to you. I think it sounds silly as of now, but if we slowly want to open our society and expose them to various functions and areas where a lot of people will gather, they will enjoy at some point of time, they will enjoy their meal, etc. And definitely in the factories or in the offices, you need to have strict adherence of all the necessary things which are required to keep yourself safe. The kind of the masks and the sanitizers which has already been part of our life. I think that needs to be much more extendable at every phase of as soon as we step out from our home to go to our car, and then take the car to the office, and then in the office building, in the kind of the sanitation network which needs to get built up, created. I think that is going to be a very major one, and that's going to be part of our life. And I think we should accept it and follow it strictly. So definitely for these 2 years, as I said, the different committees need to get made.
Sure.
So committee, when they will look after how the industry goes to the next level, they come out of this scenario. At the same time, probably they also need to see how the social order is maintained. The current way of behaving, the current way of conducting oneself, I think that will completely change, and the committee should keep on publicizing on that. I mean, in current days, the social media and other part is so strong that sending one information and making people aware of what they need to do, I think that becomes very, very easy. And COVID-19 has exposed everyone to such a situation that everybody is onto a Zoom call or a Blue Jeans call or a Google call. I think that has become part of our life. I think more and more people are coming into taking the help of technology and then getting there. So I think passing on information, the right information for all the competent authorities is not a big thing, but that has to happen, and that has to happen very consistently in a sustainable manner.
Sure. So, Saikat, for the final question, now you have a rich experience under your belt. Now, what do you feel is the message you would like to give to the new entrants in the job market? Because this is a very essential question at this point of the time.
Well, I think that's a very tough one. It's a difficult time for the new entrants, but I think in one way, it is good in the sense that they have not experienced this particular situation at such a juncture, where probably they have just started, or they have started building up their career, and they have probably taken a lot of loans, they have bought their houses, they got married, and they have children, so and so forth. That's part of our everyone's life, I know. So I think that was on a lighter note. But otherwise, for a new entrant, I think the industry is evolving. Technology is absolutely on the forefront, and a lot of things will probably happen in a contactless manner. So whatever we do, I mean, in our everyday life, I think more and more hygiene standard will get created. There will be new technologies coming up where you don't need to go somewhere. People will come to you. It's not just by online shopping. Every kind of dealing what you have in everyday's life, I think those will also become much more mechanized and much more where your personal presence is not required. I think technology will get developed much more on that front. Secondly, I think this is also creating a much of an opportunity in the field of certain segments, which I now said. It's in the food segment, or in public health, or disaster management, and things like that. So these are the segments which are only going to grow. And the larger industries like if I pick up an oil industry, or a petrochemical industry, or a steel industry, or a cement industry, I think everywhere we are getting into a situation where we have to work with very less number of people.
Sure.
I mean, we in it now. We don't have much of a choice. So a lot of things will be happening on the mechanization part. I think that was coming anyways for past couple of years. I think that will be fast track now. So a lot of work will happen on AI, on IoT, on mechanized supply chain. So entire this food supply chain will be a major part of it, and every other industry which is part of our ecosystem, everything will be very, very mechanized, and will have to be working in a very, very less number of people. People have already started working from home on many such cases. I think an entire industry will get shifted, to kind of homebound working. I think people are getting used to that space as well. So as far as industries are concerned, I mean, major industries are concerned, or even IT is concerned, or even supply chain industry is concerned, or as I said, food is concerned. I think everywhere there will be a lot of mechanization which will come. A lot of technology will come into being where people don't need to kind of interact a lot. People can complete their whole job not going outside, maybe online, or maybe in some very easy fashion where they don't need to meet people. I think lot of work is going to happen there, And the new entrants, they should not lose heart on it, because they probably have completed one part of their education, and they probably need to evolve themselves. But I think that is a new order of time, where even the people who are, say, post 50 or post 55 or post 45, even along with the millennials, I think they're also trying to cope up with the technology. I think a lot of scenario building has happened. They're trying to cope up with it, and they're actually getting onto that space. So my only suggestion to them, that when a particular segment of the society is being able to reach there, try to get onto the things, and they're trying to make it happen. I think for the young breed, it is absolutely perfect scenario. They have the new world order in front of them, and at the same point of time, they have the new things to think on. They can work on a lot of things, on technology, on the mechanization of our social order, and all of those stuff. So I think it's exciting time for them as well. Just that the scenario which was there pre-COVID, it is completely different post-COVID. But every new scenario is not bad. Every new scenario is also can be looked into from a different lens, and can be tackled accordingly.
Saikat, a very, very wonderfully put answer right there, to look at it at different lens altogether. So thank you once again for joining us today, and it was an absolute pleasure to have you in the 19 Influencers Talk on COVID-19 series. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Bhavana. Thank you so much.